Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful episode. We're here at Sophis Productions. We're here live, and it's such a wonderful day. I must say, in Pakistan, it's such a wonderful night because today Trump has declared 50% tariff on India, and it's like a geopolitical bombshell. And just a second. It's like a geopolitical bombshell for India because India, who was the most powerful nation in their own eyes and who were aligned with America and who had problems with all of their neighbors, including Pakistan and Bangladesh and China and India has been like a pain in the ass for a lot of countries. And now, when they are losing their strategic partnership with the United States of America, and Donald Trump is slapping like 50%. It started by 25% tariffs, and now they're up to 50% tariffs. And that is because Mr. Modi is buying oil from Russia. And Mr. Modi is actually supporting Russia by supporting the war of Russia with Ukraine by buying all of that oil. And Ambani and Reliance are behind all of this action because they buy oil at a cheaper price. Some say $5 cheaper than the international market. And what do? They refine this oil and resell it in the global market. So in the last episode as well, we showed you the percentage of oil that India used to buy from Russia, and now that amount has exponentially increased. And India is making a lot of money, like $14 billion from the Russian oil. And now Trump is angry, and Trump is saying that Modi, don't stand for your country. Don't stand for your people. Listen to me. And maybe Trump is right. Maybe it's not the time that Modi can really stand up to all the bullies in the world. And it's like a geopolitical bombshell for India because not only will they lose their trade with the United States of America, the implications of this 50% tariff are like detrimental to the Indian economy because just the news has started to crash the Indian market in such a big way. And this is just the start. Imagine when these tariffs are, because you have to know that all of the importers of the United States of America have, because of the tariffs and because of all this geopolitical uncertainty, they have pre-ordered a lot of things and they have stocked up a lot of Indian goods. But it would take like 15 days to a month, and when they have to reorder all of their supplies, India might be left behind, like in a very isolated and unfair place. And without further ado, let me introduce you to our guest today. She is a regular on our channel. Anila Shahzad is a writer and a geopolitical analyst, and she's written a few books, and her most recent book is Geopolitics, Frameworks and Dynamics in a Multipolar World. So without further ado, how are you, Anila? How's your night? And what do you think about the situation that is happening right now?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Wali. It's really nice to be here and talk to you and your audiences. And also, we are living in a very, very eventful era, in a very, very eventful world, because every morning when you wake up, there is so much news and so much is happening, and you just feel like it's a new world that you are facing every day, and that's what makes geopolitics as a subject so interesting, because it's not that old time type of that you used to have a newspaper in the morning and read the headlines and everything, and then you would get another refreshment of news the next morning. But here today we are having the news every other second on social media, on news channels, on like the internet. And that's what's happened. Just a couple of days ago, there was such a big, this thing, a bombshell for India, that their best friend, their, hug buddy, Modi and Trump were having a bromance and hugging each other and all that. And India was like so sure that US is their very close and very staunch, a strategic ally and friend. And what happened? Trump just slapped a 25% tariff on India, and he said that he's going to give more penalty. Apart from this 25%, there's going to be more in the face of penalties, and that might be 10% or something, and that penalty for buying Russian oil. And today, this news, it's a surprising news for so many of us, that Trump has increased the tariff to 50%. I mean, people and analysts in India are saying that 50% is just like a place where the Indian industries would not be able to do business. Because if you are selling a product of maybe $100 to the US, and after the tariffs, that same product becomes $150, then what happens? The buyers in the US will not find themselves able to buy that same product anymore. So this is, a tariff work like that. And
so if I am playing the devil's advocate, if I become Mr. Modi's advocate, so the trade between India and United States of America is around $86 billion, and that's what India exports to the USA. And if India gets like 50% tariff, they might lose a huge chunk of that $86 billion. Maybe they'd lose like a few $1 billion, but then again, the oil that they're buying from Russia is worth like $14 billion of profit. Do you think that maybe they're better off with the Russian oil rather than the exports?
It's like, the same thing I'm going to repeat again, that when you put 50% tariff on the product, neither would Indian businessmen make that product, and nor the buyers or purchasers in the United States are going to buy that product. So that's going to be a completely, that is the protectionist policy of Trump, that puts so much tariff on foreign goods that people stop buying, and they feel that the same product made in US or from some other source is cheaper. So automatically that whole $82 billion comes to a halt. And if on the other hand India is earning something from Russian oil, there is too much at stake, because it's not just the trade, it's also India's global positioning, it's India's strategic positioning, and its status in the world that's at stake.
You're very right, because it's like losing a few $1 billion does not matter in the grand scheme of things, but losing your strategic partner that you have been so proud of, Mr. Modi, losing America is such a detrimental blow to Mr. Modi's regime. And we've also heard that some of his close allies like Adani is facing major sanctions by the USA, because Adani was responsible for half of India's economy, and he has been faking his, what you can say, financial reports for his companies. He has been overstating his profits, and all the investors, especially the European and the American investors who were investing in India, now have figured out that Adani is such a big lie, and the figures that he's giving, they're all like fugazi, and so Adani actually, I guess I've heard this story. I'm not sure if it's true, but Adani has left his own company.
Really?
And Mr. Modi is like in the worst possible. I don't know how he's sleeping. Is he sleeping right now? Can someone check from the Indian side if Modi's having a good night's sleep tonight? Because although I would like to say this fact out loud, that it's good that you stand for something, because if you don't stand for something, you won't stand for anything. And Mr. Modi, now being this great leader and the leader of India and all this Bharati RSS agenda, now he's standing for his country. And he says that he won't give his farming all these crops to America, and he's saying that he'll continue buying oil from Russia. But the real point is that could you like really stand against the United States of America? And especially when you have been sidelining all your neighbors, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and China, and they're like your worst enemies. Your own neighbors are your worst enemies, and now you become this great leader and you stand up for your country and your people. I mean, is it going to end in like a total disaster? Because our leader, Pakistan's leader Imran Khan, tried to stand up for buying some oil from Russia before the Ukraine war started, and as soon as the war started, he got ousted from Pakistan's regime, and he was standing up for his own people. And that is Pakistan, and Pakistan has learned this lesson that you can't just really go against the superpower of the world. And now Modi is on like the same track. Although he's not on the same track, he's on a much, much worse track, because he's been buying billions of dollars of oil every month since the past 3 years, 2 years, and Russia's under sanctions. And what do you think about his situation?
I've been writing this before also, and that India is usually on the wrong boat. I mean, when it was the Soviet Union era, at that time, India was in the socialist camp, and they were hand in glove with the Soviets when they occupied Afghanistan. All these Indian elements were in Afghanistan, and from there, what they used to do, they supported the Baloch separatists and other separatists in Pakistan. They armed them, they funded them, and they made camps for them in Afghanistan where they could come and hide and like go back and come in to do their terrorist activities and all that. So at that time also, India was in the wrong boat, because Soviet Union lost that war against the Afghan Mujahideens, and the whole biggest, one of the biggest superpower of the world, it broke down into so many pieces. And just right after that, when the Soviet Union collapsed, India took a U-turn and went into the capitalist camp. And then again, just after 3-4 years, the US was invading Afghanistan, and again the Indians were in the wrong boat. They again came into Afghanistan under their umbrella, under the umbrella of the US, and what they did, again they supported and created terror outfits that would wreak havoc in the whole of Pakistan for almost 10 years to 12 years, until the Pakistan army figured out how to deal with them. And then so many operations were started, and the terrorist outfit, they were all like wiped out from the country. So again, the US again lost that war, and the Indians had to run. They had to flee from Afghanistan exactly on the day when the US forces were leaving in their helicopters and their planes, and the Indians did not have even the respite to like manage their ouster from Afghanistan, and they were just baffled and all that. So again, they were in the wrong boat. Now, after maybe 20 years or 25 years of being strategically allied with the US, and from Obama and from Biden, and then all these presidents were so close to India because the US thought that India is the only country that is going to stand against China for them. Like, if the US wants to like destroy China or impede its growth or impede its ability to become a regional power, there's only one country that is going to stand with them, and that is India, because India itself wants to become that regional power. And this lust for power is what united the US and India. And maybe you're going to tell some more details about that. But exactly because of India, the US created the idea of Indo-Pacific.
That's a great point. The lust for power and the lust for India to become this regional superpower and decide the fate of all its neighbors, bomb Pakistan, take over Bangladesh, reduce China to like this insignificant small little country. But I'm very shocked. Actually, who's my favorite reporter? It's like an Indian reporter, and she's named Palki Sharma. And Palki Sharma is now crying, and she's like really in a bad mood, and she's saying, this is unfair, Modi. If my Trump is doing this unfair deal, if you want to drag your own economy into ruin, don't like drag India with you. And why is it unfair? Recently, there's like this reporter that was hired by Indian lobby, and the reporter went to United States, and she said, Mr. Trump, you're buying chemicals, you're buying fertilizers, and you're buying uranium from Russia. And you're fulfilling all your energy and all your other needs. And you've put Russia under sanctions. But when India buys oil, now you're saying that India is wrong. Why do you have double standards? So what do you have to say about those double standards that the USA has? And do you think that does it even matter? USA is the superpower; it can do whatever it wants.
Well, the first
but
thing,
is India this regional superpower, or is like
the first thing
only a dream?
is that the US is no more a superpower, because a superpower, a uni superpower, is supposed to be a country that is relevant in all the global matters and which can dictate its will upon other countries and its will upon global matters. But what's happening is that the US has become more and more irrelevant, and it cannot dictate its will on China, it cannot dictate its will on Russia, it cannot end a war if it wants to, like the Gaza war or the Ukrainian war. So before Trump came, the US was becoming more and more totally isolated and irrelevant in global matters. But Trump is, that this kind of a pompous person and, a big-mouthed person, and he actually boosted that he is relevant and he is going to dictate everything. And his press secretary and all those people, they are saying that Trump is the one who made the India-Pakistan ceasefire possible. Trump is the one who ended the Cambodia-Vietnam war, Myanmar war, and anything that's happening anywhere, they are just coming in and saying that we are the ones who have ended that war.
Was Pakistan and India going towards a nuclear war? Because Trump has now said it like 28 times or maybe 34 times. I don't know the exact number, but Palki was saying this, that Trump has said like more than 30 times that he ended a nuclear war between Pakistan and India.
Yeah.
What's the truth behind that? I'm a little sarcastic about that.
Well, the thing is that everybody knows that nuclear war is not a possibility because, especially between two nuclear powers, it's not possible that any one of that nuclear power is going to push the nuclear button, because if one country does that, automatically the other country is going to do that, and it's going to be not a small disaster, it's going to be a regional disaster or maybe even a global disaster, because the nuclear bombs of today's time are something, they say that 60 times more powerful than the nuclear bomb that were thrown in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So it's not a game, it's not something you can even dream of, and that is the reason why there are so many wars going on all around the world, and they are never like crossing, it's called the nuclear threshold. They never cross the nuclear threshold, and they just do conventional
it's a
other type
deterrent.
of wars. Yes. And you can do all other type of wars, but you will not cross the nuclear threshold.
But what I've heard is that Mr. Modi had his nuclear warhead on the BrahMos missile, and he was going to target Pakistan. Maybe it was like a tactical nuclear weapon, and maybe Modi was going to target some military base in Pakistan. But as soon as Pakistan started dropping the Rafale jets, like 5 jets, and we have like this new world record. I know Pakistan is not known for a lot of world records, but this is like the most interesting world record that Pakistan shot an Indian Rafale jet from like 187 kilometers away. And that is like a humongous difference. And it took like networking of the aeroplane and the radar systems and the surveillance systems, like all of these systems of Pakistan, which were provided by the Chinese, worked in relationship to each other, and they were sharing information, and that's how Pakistan has now this world record of like shooting a plane down from 170 80 something kilometers. And
so it's like,
and what I heard, that as soon as Pakistan dropped all these fighter jets, that's when Modi decided to not bomb Pakistan with its nuclear warhead. Although the BrahMos missile was ready and the nuclear warhead was on the BrahMos missile.
The BrahMos missile's depot was also attacked by Pakistan. And what's interesting is that this exactly the thing that you just mentioned. This is the 6th generation warfare concept, because 6th generation warfare says that the new war is going to be a contactless war, means that the weapons or the arms or whatever things from one country is not going to enter the land space or the air space of the other country. They are going to be sitting inside their own country, and they are going to fight a contactless war. That's the 6th generation warfare phenomena. And that is what Pakistan has done, that it has beaten India on the 6th GW scenario. Because what Pakistan did with the help of China, the thing you just mentioned was networking. That is also the 6th generation warfare phenomena that is going to be totally network centric. And how did Pakistan achieve it? Because Pakistan was using Chinese origin fighter jets loaded with Chinese origin missiles, navigated with the Chinese origin satellite system, and they were also having the jamming facilities that also again was provided by China, and China knew exactly which frequencies the Indians were working on, and they helped the Pakistanis jam, or they all when Pakistan dropped their 5, 6 fighter jets, the Indian army could not do the same to Pakistan because their systems had been jammed. So that is what the sixth generation warfare is, and that is why this war has totally upset the strategic balance of the region, because India being so big and spending so much on its military, its budget is I think 10 times bigger than Pakistan's budget, and they're buying so many things and all that. But if you buy one jet from the US and then you buy the drones from Israel and you buy the satellites from another place, you will never get to, it's going to take you another 10 years to, synchronize the whole thing.
And what about the F-35 jets that Modi promised America that he was going to buy these F-35 jets, and one jet is worth like $100 million. And they were supposed to buy a large amount of military equipment from the USA. And suddenly, because they have been doing these trade deals for a few months now, Trump has been in his presidency, it's like the 6th or 7th month, and suddenly now they decide that they don't want any of these aircrafts from USA, because actually USA has done this before, that they gave some fighter jets to India and then they did not give any spare parts, and these fighter jets can't run without the necessary spare parts. And plus, America has a kill switch on all the fighter jets that it's giving to India. So Trump was like, I think that was the major shifting point, because not only are they buying billions of dollars of oil monthly from Russia, but also Mr. Modi declined all the weapons that were supposed to come to India. And also they were supposed to buy a few of these, what you call, anti-aircraft systems like the S-400. And the USA's anti-missile system is called like the Patriot. And there's a few more. So instead of buying the Patriot, they're again telling Russia to give S-400 missiles. So how big of a defeat is it for both of the parties? Because India is not now trusting American tech.
I think so. I think that the real thing that's happened under the table is not just the Russian oil, because eventually, like you just said, that India takes that oil from Russia and it refines it, and then again sells it back to the Europeans who were originally buying that oil. So that equation is not so much different from the earlier one. But the real thing is, what really upset Trump was that India was not ready to open its agriculture sector for the US companies who always, the capitalist free market formula is that you give your agricultural products cheap to us, and you allow us to do this, which type of farming,
the GMO, genetically modified, and because of that, there's like widespread cancer amongst the Indian farmers because of the fertilizers they're using. And the seeds that they're using, it's making their land uninhabitable, and plus there's also this factor that these chemicals are so toxic, and they have to use these chemicals with this GMO, genetically modified seeds. And because of that, there's like a huge population of Indian farmers who have cancer, because the water, these chemicals travel into the river downstream, and these rivers go everywhere in India, and whoever is drinking that river water is getting cancer. And it's like basically कुछ अर्से पहले इंडिया के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा मास प्रोटेस्ट भी हो रहे थे, और पंजाब की साइड से सारे सिख जो है
2 years the farmers sat on the streets.
And
It was the
that was the
biggest
point when I thought K. Modi was going to sell out his farmers.
that
But
was
actually,
exactly.
he's standing up for his farmers.
No, it's like there was such a large 2 years plus long farmers' revolution or farmers' protest, and they are still doing it from time to time. So the farmers at that time said that we are not going to allow you to bring in these multinational corporations who are going to, they have this economy of scale type of thing, जिसमें ये होता है कि बहुत बड़े बड़े लैंड एरियाज़ को वो इंगेज कर लेते हैं एक ही किस्म की क्रॉप के लिए, और फिर जब वो मास प्रोड्यूस होती है क्रॉप तो वो उनके मैकडोनल्ड्स में और उनकी डिफरेंट वॉलमार्ट्स में वो चीज़ उन्होंने यूज़ करनी होती है, और फिर क्योंकि सब के सब लोग एक ही क्रॉप बना रहे हैं और मास में बना रहे हैं और वो उनसे पहले ही उनके रेट तय कर देते थे। ये बात फार्मर्स ने बोली थी कि हम जो है ना वो सबके सब एक ही चीज़ नहीं ग्रो करेंगे, बिकॉज दैट इन द लॉन्ग रन वो फिर उनकी ज़मीनें ज़ाया हो जाती हैं। दूसरी बात फार्मर्स ने ये कहा कि हम पहले से रेट जो है ना वो फसल लगाने से पहले रेट के ऊपर हम वो नहीं करेंगे, जो कि ये लोग करते हैं फ्री मार्केट वाले। सो ये चीज़ 2 साल 2.5 साल मोदी भुगत चुका था, तो अब वो दोबारा से किस तरह से उन फार्मर्स के सामने खड़ा हो जाए और वो फार्मर्स फिर से प्रोटेस्ट शुरू कर देंगे। सो मोदी के लिए तो बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट टाइम आ गया। और लेकिन उसके बरक्स यूएस को आप देखें कि आफ्टर ऑल दोज प्रोटेस्ट एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स, यूएस इज़ अगेन forcing India to give 45% of their GDP is coming from agriculture, and Trump says कि वो सारा का सारा हमारे हवाले कर दो। So you're right, exactly right when you say that Modi is standing for his own people, for his own country, and I think he has to do it. He doesn't have a choice. But he has to lose, is his this RSS and BJP, this Hindutva thing, who want the whole subcontinent and who want the to be the regional power and then one day become the global power, because Hinduism is the greatest religion, and all that fanatic ideas and extremist ideas that they have. So that is what they have to lose in all this. They have to become good boys and girls now.
Yeah, indeed. I've heard this thing that Bill Gates he was planning to take over a lot of the crops that are in India, and all of these big American gigantic corporations were trying to take control of all the Indian agriculture, and India is such a big producer of agriculture. And it was going to be really, really detrimental. And I think it would have been easier for Modi to give his land away. But somehow he has mustered the courage. Mr. Modi ji has mustered the courage to not give his land away. So without further ado, let me read a few of comments that are going on. It's like a very spicy topic, and some of the Indians are here. And obviously, we encourage everyone who's watching our live streams to participate in the conversation, because we'll read your comments out loud. Just make the comments in such a way that we can read it out loud. Don't use foul language. And it's like you guys, if you have any opinion, if you want to say anything, if you want to ask any question, you can always come in the comments and say what you want to say, and we'll read it out loud, and if it's a question, we'll even answer that question. So Israr is here, he's saying hello. Fizan is here, and he's welcoming. And Ritesh Das is saying Chaggan. I don't know what that means.
Seems to be a spell.
Ali Faraz is here, and he's saying amazing analysis as always. And Asma saying this is just about tariffs, it's about geopolitical turning points. And Trump's 50% move on India could redraw alliance across Asia. That is exactly what is happening. Hassan Haroon is saying, yo, interesting topic. Saira Salim is here, she's waving. Mohammed Fazan is saying, Trump's 50% tariffs isn't just an economic hit, it's a signal, and India's reply firm, fierce, fearless. India is like saying that everything is unfair. They're not like fearless right now. But the question is, how can Delhi walk alone? They can't. Like, अगर आप अपने नेबर्स के साथ अच्छे होते, अगर आपको पाकिस्तान से इतनी बड़ी शिकस्त ना हुई होती कि आपके ब्राह्मोस भी फेल हो गए, आपकी नेवी भी फेल हो गए, आपके जहाज़ भी फेल हो गए, आपके राफेल जो है वो खोता रेडी के ऊपर रख के लेकर जा रहे थे तो अगर आपके साथ ये सारा कुछ ना होता, और फिर बांग्लादेश में आपके साथ क्या हुआ, हसीना वाजिद जो कि आपकी सबसे बड़ी सपोर्टर थी, जिसने रॉ को पूरे जो है बांग्लादेश में घुसाया हुआ था और वो अपने लोगों के ऊपर जुल्म और ज़्यादती करी थी, उसको कैसे बाहर निकाला। सुबह के टाइम वो जो है सबसे बड़ी रूलर थी बांग्लादेश की, और उसकी चाय बन रही थी और उसका खाना जो है शाम की चिकन कढ़ाई तैयार थी, मगर शाम से पहले पहले ही उसके घर के अंदर लोग घुस गए, और जो उसके साथ के थे उन्होंने कहा कि मैम अब अभी अभी हेलीकॉप्टर के ऊपर बैठे हैं और इंडिया निकल जाए, क्योंकि आपके साथ अच्छा नहीं होने वाला। ये लोग जो आ रहे हैं, इन लोगों ने रुकना नहीं है, इन लोगों ने आपको जो है ना उड़ा देना है तो इस वजह से उनकी जो प्रेसिडेंट, प्राइम मिनिस्टर, द अल्टीमेट अथॉरिटी, वो जहाज़ हेलीकॉप्टर लेके इंडिया भाग गई। एंड नाउ Bangladesh is also so against, because all of these years of oppression, like I don't know, 71 to 2025, 50 years, more than 50 years of repression, they are against their own founding father. The father of Hasina Wajid is Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and they're against like their own founding father. They say that he was the worst person in the whole wide world, and that is Bangladesh and its youth. And then with China ने भी रिसेंटली अनाउंस किया कि वो, क्योंकि इंडिया ने जंग के बाद अनाउंस किया कि हमारी कोई वाटर ट्रीटी नहीं पाकिस्तान के साथ, हम सारा पानी खुद अपनी तरफ रखेंगे तो चाइना अनाउंस करता है कि हम इंडिया का सारा पानी रखने लगे तो एंड देयर हैज बीन बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट्स going on for a long, long while between India and China. And where does India go? Because उनका तो सारा दोस्त और उनका जो परिवार और उनका जो कि महात्मा था वो तो डोनाल्ड ट्रंप था, वो तो अमेरिका था, उनका जो है सबसे बड़ा सपोर्टर भी अमेरिका था, मगर क्या हो रहा है इंडिया के साथ, ये जो है सोचने वाली बात है। और मोदी, ओए होए 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 होए, मुझे नहीं लगता कि आज रात वो सो रहा है। मोदी जो है ना खड़े होके अभी चक्कर काट रहा है अपने बेडरूम में
Actually,
तो I also want to show an article on the same thing, but let me read a few comments. And Mohammed Fazan is saying Trump, अच्छा, I've read that. सारा सलीम is saying आधी रात को पहली बार इस चैनल का लिंक मिला, बेचैनी सी हुई, सोचा सुनूं क्या हो रहा है। थैंक यू सारा फॉर बीइंग हियर, फॉर योर ग्रेट कमेंट्स, एंड थैंक यू फॉर लिसनिंग टू अस इन द मिडल ऑफ द नाइट. And Sanali saying, hello, beautiful lady Anila. God bless you.
hello Sana, how are you?
Thank you, Sana. Sana has been here for almost all the streams, and she's always with her beautiful comments. And thank you, Sana, for being here, for being such a big supporter of our channel. And Star says, Modi in Russia selling dreams abroad while reality burning at home. Yes, Modi is traveling to China or Russia. That is also news.
China.
Mohammed Fazan says, as Palki Sharma might say, did Modi ji just trade Washington's friendship for Moscow's fuel? Yes, I think Palki says things like that. Yes, Modi did. Modi, are you happy trading your friendship with Washington and buying the Moscow fuel? Actually, our thumbnail for today's broadcast is like really funny. It's like Modi having like this little baby food can which says Russian oil, and Trump is like scolding him, "Don't you dare!" And Hafsa Hamid is here. She's saying, first time here, and thank you, dear. And Ali's here, and Mohit Suri is here, and Sana is saying Palki Sharma reporting is like spicy biryani full of facts and flavors. Not facts, just flavor. And Mohit Suri saying Modi rejected F-35 deal is a power move. Man, you guys are pathetic.
Oh.
Is it like a power move, or is it like the biggest blunder of this century? Because uh, he could have bought a few jets, and maybe, and that's what Americans do. They get all your money and they don't even give you the jets. They take like,
Yeah, they've done this with Pakistan, you know.
yeah,
They have
yeah.
16s.
And maybe it was a power move, but I think it was the biggest blunder, because now the reality is the 50% tariffs on India. How do you counter that? I mean, I honestly don't wish any harm on the Indian people, because there's like over a billion Indian people, and 50% tariffs by the USA. And I guess Europe is also on board with USA, and they're isolating India in such a bad way. The way Pakistan had been always isolated in the world stage. क्योंकि पाकिस्तान के साथ क्या होता है हमेशा कि पाकिस्तान tried to stand up for itself, tried to stand up for its people, especially with the Afghan war. हम लोगों ने अड्डे दिए हुए थे अमेरिका को, मगर पीछे पीछे से हम लोग जो है अफगानियों को भी सपोर्ट कर रहे थे, तालिबान को भी कहीं कहीं, जो कि हमारे गुड तालिबान और बैड तालिबान होते हैं, तो गुड तालिबान को हम सपोर्ट करते थे. And that is what has happened to Pakistan. It's the biggest terrorist country in the whole wide world. If you go on BBC and CNN, and if you look at the past 10, 15, 20 years of the reporting they have done, there's nothing positive about Pakistan. And that is where India started to shine, because India was this huge, humongous power that was going to counter all these China and Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iran. But sadly, things things are not.
You know, Biden and this Trump in his first era, they have been standing next to Modi, and they have been pronouncing Pakistan as the exporter of terrorism, the hub of terrorism. And you know, a few days back, Jaishankar said that don't call it India versus Pakistan, call it India versus Terroristan. I mean, that's the way India has been behaving with Pakistan, because it had this backing of Trump administration. It just went all the way to like malign Pakistan in every international forum, in every their external minister, Jaishankar, had this habit of coming every day on a press conference or a show or an event and talking against, Pakistan. So that is what is at stake. That is what India is going to lose if, as we are thinking, that India is going to take another U-turn and go back to having friendship with Russia and China. What is it's going to lose? It's going to lose this, lust again, that it wanted to malign Pakistan, it wanted to be a hegemon, it wanted to be a big brother in this whole neighborhood, and now it's going to have to sit with China and Russia, and the way they do business with everybody on bilateral equal basis, the same way India will have to work with other people. And India
Actually,
would not
on this topic, I wanted to show an article as well, and the article goes: Chinese media backs India in tariff clash with Trump. It says it may have never been a guest at the table. And the article also says some Indians are now beginning to realize what they thought was a strong partnership with US might have been only one-sided. So this is a great article, and now China is saying that India, you should stand up with your neighbors. China is like the second largest economy in the whole world, and their neighbor India. And China's like, you guys should come to us, beg us for forgiveness. Especially Modi ji, कश्मीर आपके बाप की जागीर नहीं है कश्मीर को आप और पाकिस्तान से भी आगे माफ़ी मांगे पाकिस्तान के चरणों में गिर के और सॉलमली एक आंख में आपके आंसू भी होना चाहिए मोदी जी और आप माफ़ी मांगे हमसे जो भी आपने किया है एंड चाइना सेइंग दैट इट कैन रिजॉल्व इट्स बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट्स विद इंडिया बट इंडिया हैज़ टू स्टार्ट बिहेविंग ये जो सारी आपकी हिंदुत्वा आइडियोलॉजी है और जो आप मुसलमानों को अपने मुल्क से बाहर निकालना चाह रहे हैं बंगालियों को तो आपने बंगाली मुसलमान तो आपने निकालना शुरू भी कर दिए एंड देन आपका जो वन साइडेड रिलेशनशिप था अमेरिका कभी किसी का दोस्त नहीं बना ट्रम्प जो है वो ट्रांजैक्शनल है वो कभी भी आपके साथ जो है लॉयल नहीं है वो कभी भी आपके साथ दोस्ती नहीं निभाएगा he's the type of person who will only talk to you if he's getting benefit from you, if he's getting money from you, if he's getting something that he wants like Indian farmland or Indian agriculture or even some goods from India. Other than that, Trump जो है वो और अमेरिका वो आपकी बिल्कुल परवाह नहीं करता आपको याद नहीं रहा जो हमारे साथ ब्रिटिश ने किया 200 साल उन्होंने कैसे इंडिया के ऊपर 100 साल कैसे रूल किया इंडिया के ऊपर और उन्होंने $7 ट्रिलियन इस सब कॉन्टिनेंट से उठा के अपने जो है बैंक्स में ट्रांसफ़र किया क्या हुआ उनके साथ फिर कि उनका अपना जो है ब्रिटिश एम्पीरियल एम्पायर भी ज़मीन बोस हो गया क्योंकि हिटलर ने आके उनकी तहस नहस कर दी मगर क्या वही लोग जिन्होंने आपको वैसे ये भी पाकिस्तान और इंडिया दोनों के अंदर मगर इंडिया स्पेशली अभी तक इनका जो दिमाग है ना वो स्लेवरी से निकला नहीं है जो 100 साल का रूल था अब 70 साल और गुजर गए हैं जो इंडिपेंडेंट हो गए मगर अभी भी उनकी आइडियोलॉजी और दिमाग वो अमेरिका के वो स्लेव्स ही हैं वो अपने आप को कभी भी अमेरिका से ऊपर नहीं समझ सकते और अमेरिका से वो compete नहीं कर सकते वो हमेशा सब सर्वेंट और जो है ना वो चाहते हैं कि हमें H1B वीज़ा अगर मोदी जी को हम H1B वीज़ा दें और वो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट के अंदर एम्प्लॉय बन जाए कोई हमें पता है मोदी जी ने मैट्रिक भी नहीं पास किया बिल्कुल सड़क छाप और चाय बेचने वाला एक बंदा था जिसको आपने जो है बिठा दी अपने प्रेसिडेंट की सीट पे तो अगर मोदी जी को हम H1B वीज़ा देते तो H1B वीज़ा पे मोदी जी भी चले जाते मगर बात ये थी क्योंकि उन्होंने गुजरात का मैसेकर किया तो कुछ साल पहले तक तो मोदी जी इंटरनेशनल टेररिस्ट नंबर 1 थे उनका वीज़ा शीज़ा सारे कुछ एक्सपायर थे तो मोदी जी ने कहा चलो छोड़ो मुझे H1B वीज़ा तो नहीं मिलना मैं यहाँ ही पॉलिटिक्स में घुस जाता हूँ
पीएम बन जाता हूँ इंडिया
इंडिया का भी है तो I'd like to read some comments as well and Ali saying haha exactly and sometimes it feel like adds extra spice in the biryani just for the TRPs and Mohit Suri says 2 years 13 months lol I don't know what that means and यार इंडिया ऐसे डिस्कस हो रहा है जैसे तुम्हारे अपनी देश हो जब अलग हो गए हो तो अलग ही रहो we love you Mohit and you are like Ikra Tabassum is saying Mohit Suri and she's like doing the dancing emoji and she's saying rejecting the F-35 may seem like a power move but geopolitics isn't about ego it's about strategic balance turning US down tech while relying on Russian platform weakens long-term leverage and that is so true Ikra thank you for highlighting such a great point because you might spend like a few $100 million on a few stupid jets from America. That's what Palki is so furious about all the jets. When Rafales were shot down by Pakistan, she said that the American jets are slipping off the USS carrier and 2 of those F-35 jets, they are supposed to be the best fighter jets in the world with the latest technology. They can't even land on the USS carrier because as soon as the ships would turn, and the planes were landing, they would just slip off the runway into the ocean. But yeah, you need to appease your masters. That's what it is. And India has been treating America as its masters. And now suddenly they're growing this conscious and they're trying to stand up for their own nation. And Mr. Modi, you're not the right person. I mean, and Mahabaloch is saying, hello, Wali and beautiful lady. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Maha.
Ikra Tabassum is here. She's saying, hello, Shiva ji. आज धूप के मर जाओ शर्म से महा सिंह हाँ हाँ एग्जैक्टली लिंकिंग लेकिन भी शर्म है लेकिन भी शर्म है वो लेकिन बेशर्म है हाँ हाँ सही है राइट लेकिन बेशर्म है वो इसलिए वो पानी में डूब के नहीं मरेगा मोदी जी भी बहुत बेशर्म है मोदी जी को तो हम रिकमेंड करते हैं कि छोटा सा ना वो ग्लास पकड़े चुल्लू भर पानी और उसके अंदर डूब के मरे तो इकरा सिंह अपनी जगह सूरी को भेज दिया अपनी जगह सूरी को भेज दिया हाँ सूरी इज नाउ हियर टुडे शिवा जी इज वेयर शिवा जी मोहम्मद सुजान saying looks like Modi ji just taught Trump that no means no 50% tariff no problem our desi hacks will work 500 times harder that is what it is all these Indians and especially in the tech industry what is happening is they're getting this H-1B visas, they're being exploited because Americans, they might have to pay thousands of dollars for a nice employee who lives in the United States of America. But all of these desperate Indians who have nothing in their own country and they just want to escape India and go for a better future in another country. And they do these jobs in the fraction of the cost. They'd like kill their life away because that's what I guess the subcontinent culture is that money is everything to us. Maybe money doesn't matter that much to the Europeans and the Americans. They just want to have a decent life. They just want to enjoy on the weekends and have a dog and a family, a few kids, and they're happy. But these Indians, they're so miser. I mean, we knew about the Jews being miser, counting every penny, but the Indians are even the cheapest people around the world.
Mohit is going to be angry if we keep on doing this.
So, Mahabaloch is saying, ha ha ha, name change करके तो देख करके तो देख रहा है हमें शिवा जी आ जाओ सामने ये हाँ नाम चेंज करके शिवा जी आ जाए आई थिंक शिवा जी की इतनी बेइज्जती हुई ना कि वो दोबारा आना नहीं चाहते
मगर मोहित को तो ये मैसेज मिल रहा है ना कि वी लव इंडियंस सो मच कि इन एवरी पॉडकास्ट वी आर रिमेम्बरिंग शिवा जी एंड वी आर कॉलिंग हिम बैक
Mohammed Hazan is saying I saw BBC News about pirates and it showed that they were Nigerians. The headlines mention pirates and looting and underneath it says Pakistan, which confuses me. Yes, that's what's been going on. What's this propaganda that has been happening against Pakistan for the past 25 years or 30 years since the Afghan war. And we have lost so many, like 70,000 of our own people, most of them civilians, and a lot of army individuals. And they always tell us to do more, do more, do more. That's what the Americans have been telling the Pakistanis.
That's what they're telling Modi now.
And now, yeah, Modi ji is now doing everything for the United States, and the United States is still saying, do more, Mr. Modi, do more, Mr. Modi. And that is now the tides have shifted. I don't know. You know how all of our childhood, like when we were in schools and when we were growing up, there was like a suicide bomb every other week in Lahore, in Islamabad, in Karachi, and our schools used to go down, and that was because of all this American and all this hegemony that was against Pakistan. And we know what can happen if you go against this super mighty American international superpower, but now Indians will know what happens when you mess with the wrong person, which is Donald Trump. And असमा सिंह, ये टैरिफ्स इंडिया के लिए सिर्फ इकोनॉमिक पेन नहीं, डिप्लोमेटिक प्रेशर का टूल है। रशिया के साथ रिश्तों की कीमत अब डॉलर्स में नहीं, अलायंसेस में चुकानी पड़ेगी। That is a great point. And Ikra is saying, thank you, Wali. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the nice comments. I know I'm so intelligent. Yes, we know, Ikra, you're the most intelligent person here. And thank you for all of our fans that are here. We like each and everyone who's commenting on our live streams. And it's like, I'll go to the next comments as well. What do you think about Pakistan's oil deal? Koi nahi. What do you think about Pakistan's oil deal? That is a very good question. We're going to discuss about that thing, what the Americans are actually doing now, deals with Pakistan. Pakistan is now going to export oil to India. आप लोगों को समझ आ रही है कि आप लोगों को तेल चाहिए तो आप रशिया से ना लें, आप सीधा पाकिस्तान से ले लें, हमारे पास तेल ही तेल है. And Aruj Fatma saying here, she's saying hello, first time here and subscribed to your channel. Thank you Aruj for being here, for supporting our channel. And Ikra is saying India वाले अपनी इंसल्ट सुन के गायब ही हो जाते हैं. It's not fair, Suryan Shiva. राम नवास, यार जब तू हमेशा स्माइल ही करता है पागलों की तरह तो सोचता कब है भाई, डॉक्टर को दिखा, सोच समझ के शक्ति आएगी, सोच समझ के शक्ति आएगी.
ये चीज़ तो आपको मोदी को कहनी चाहिए.
राम नवाज, थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग हियर. एक्चुअली वी अप्रिशिएट यू गाइस. Nivas. And he said, मतलब कि हम लोग we try to keep all this discussion in a lighter tone and थोड़ी मोदी जी की ना हम लोग साथ करते रहते हैं. But don't worry, we're not against Indian people. Actually, we're the same people. Pakistan and India was the same place like before the British came, and we're trying to tell you not to rely on these Europeans and Americans because they're backstabbers and they have been ruling over India for such a long while. और आप उन्हीं के दोबारा से ट्रैप में दोबारा फंसते जाते हो और अब फाइनली आप you're getting a taste of your own medicine. अब आप तेल खरीद सकते हो रशिया से, खरीदो. आप अपने एग्रीकल्चर को सेफ रख सकते हो, रखो. मगर अमेरिका के जब 50% टैरिफ लगते हैं तो कितना मजा आता है.
That's not the only issue, ना? Other bad things also the US can do. But there's some foul language, so be a little careful.
अच्छा, Mohit Suri saying we don't mess with Trump, he's messing with us. And actually, let's go to the comments after a bit, and let's go back to our great discussion. And
I was going to add this thing that analysts are saying that this is, there was one Pakistan-India war battle, but now there is this battle between two egos. Because Trump has a big ego and Modi has a big ego. Now Modi cannot stand in his parliament or in front of his people and say that they have lost a war or they are going to agree to this thing, they are going to like anything that the US says. So this big image that Modi has made in his people and the way he always talks boastfully and the way he is always saying that we have done this and we have won this and that, वो चीज़ मोदी के लिए बहुत difficult है कि वो झुक जाए और वो thank you कहे ट्रम्प का और वो like उसकी कोई शराइत मान ले जबकि इंडियन पब्लिक सारी की सारी उसको देख रही है. और same thing happens in Trump's case कि ट्रम्प से बर्दाश्त नहीं होता कि कोई बंदा भी जो है ना उसके खिलाफ कुछ भी कर दे. फॉर इंस्टेंस जब पाकिस्तान और ये बैटल ख़त्म हुई तो पाकिस्तान ने, बिकॉज पाकिस्तान हैज़ बिन लर्निंग अ लॉट ऑफ लेसन्स में भी, और उन्होंने फ़ौरन ट्रम्प की हाँ में हाँ मिलाई कि हाँ तुमने ही सीज़ फायर करवाया और तुम्हारी वजह से बैटल ख़त्म हो गई, ऑल्दो कि पाकिस्तान हैड वॉन दिस वॉर बाय throwing down these 5-6 jets and all that. But मोदी के मुंह से ये नहीं निकल सका कि हाँ ठीक है ट्रम्प तुमने ये सीज़ फायर करवाया है और हम भी तुम्हें नॉमिनेट कर देते हैं नोबेल पीस प्राइज़ के लिए। तो अगर ट्रम्प मोदी इतना सा कर देता, अपनी ईगो को थोड़ा सा नीचे ले आता, तो ट्रम्प शायद बाकी चीज़ें भुला देता, बिकॉज ही इज सच अ बिग ईगो एंड सच अ नार्सिसिस्ट एंड ऑल दैट थिंग।
एक्चुअली राहुल गांधी ने खड़े होकर कांग्रेस में कहा कि मोदी एक दफ़ा मान जाओ कि ट्रम्प ने जो है झूठ बोला है, ट्रम्प ने ये जंग नहीं रुकवाई, मगर मोदी कुछ कह नहीं पाया, राहुल गांधी को रिप्लाई नहीं कर पाया। एंड द रियल क्वेश्चन राइट नाउ इज कि इंडिया के ऊपर टैरिफ लग गए हैं 50%, द स्टॉक मार्केट इज क्रैशिंग, we don't know what's going to happen in the next month or 2 or 3 months when the effects of these tariffs really start kicking in. It's not just like a few $billion that they're exporting towards USA. It's going to be such a big detrimental blow because America is trying to isolate India and make an example. Modi ji ki ek example बनने लगी है. And the question that is like this real interesting question कि अगर मोदी जी सच्चे दिल से आके माफ़ी मांगे, solemn माफ़ी मांगे पाकिस्तान और चाइना से, पाकिस्तान और चाइना से, तो क्या चाइना और पाकिस्तान जो है और बांग्लादेश और बाकी रशिया क्या इंडिया को माफ़ करने के लिए तैयार है? स्पेशली जब बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव हमारा जो है उसके अगेंस्ट वो काम करते रहे, वो हर उन्होंने पॉसिबल पिछले 10-15 साल में हरकत की कि चाइना को अंडरमाइन करें, पाकिस्तान को अंडरमाइन करें और सारे रीजन को अंडरमाइन करें। तो अब क्या अगर मोदी जी सॉलमली माफ़ी आकर मांगते हैं और पैरों में पड़ते हैं, तो क्या चाइना और पाकिस्तान और बाकी मुल्क माफ़ कर देंगे?
इट्स लाइक चाइना और रशिया की ये पॉलिसी रही है कि वो हमेशा कोशिश करते रहें कि इंडिया उनकी तरफ वापस आ जाए, और ये इसको कहते हैं डॉक्ट्रिन, जिसका नाम है RIC, रशिया इंडिया चाइना डॉक्ट्रिन। ये इनके प्रेसिडेंट प्रेमकोव जो थे ना बिफोर सोवियत इरा के, बल्कि सोवियत इरा के फ़ौरन बाद के ये थे, और उन्होंने ये डॉक्ट्रिन निकाली थी कि हमने चाइना, रशिया और इंडिया को इकट्ठे करना है ताकि हम एक मल्टीपोलर वर्ल्ड का फ्रेमवर्क सामने ला सकें। मगर क्या हुआ, 25 साल गुजर गए, 40 साल गुजर गए, इंडिया ने इनकी एक नहीं मानी। हालांकि SCO जब बनाया चाइना ने, उसमें इंडिया को शामिल किया, उसके बाद BRI में उसको दावत देता रहा, फिर ब्रिक्स के अंदर इंडिया को शामिल रखा है, लेकिन इंडिया हर दफ़ा उनके साथ यानी कोल्ड शोल्डर देना और बस अटेंड कर लेना, लेकिन किसी भी ब्रिक्स के जो समिट्स हैं उनमें वो जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट्स नहीं दे सके कितनी दफ़ा, बिकॉज इंडिया के बरखिलाफ़ हो जाता था। सो अब अगर ये वक्त आ ही गया है और इंडिया को समझ में आ ही गई है कि अब मैंने चाइना और रशिया के साथ मिलकर एक ये जो नया उभरता हुआ मल्टीपोलर फ्रेमवर्क है इसके अंदर जाना है, और फिर इसके जो फ़वाइद और मतलब ये वैसे भी बन जाना है ये नया, मतलब इट्स ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड, तो क्यों ना मैं इस तरफ टर्न करूं। लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या है? प्रॉब्लम ये है कि इंडिया की जो मेंटालिटी है ना, और उसकी जो एक क्रीड है, एक कल्चर है, उसके अंदर ये हेजेमनी की और ये दूसरों के ऊपर वो मुसल्लत होने की एक वो जो चीज़ उनकी नेचर में है, जिसके एग्जांपल मैं आपको ये दे रही हूँ कि आज अजीत डोवल जो कि नेशनल सिक्योरिटी एडवाइज़र है, और जिसने वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट अजीत डोवल जिसने वो डॉक्ट्रिन बनाई थी, जिसमें उसने कहा था कि पाकिस्तान के साथ हमें ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस करना है। वी टॉक्ड अबाउट दैट लेटर लास्ट टाइम, और यही अजीत डोवल इस वक्त रशिया में बैठा हुआ है, रशिया के साथ बात कर रहा है कि भाई ये टैरिफ्स लग गए हैं तुम्हारे ऑयल की वजह से, अब हम क्या करें। तो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि यार आप अगर इस तरह के बंदों को आगे भेजोगे जिनकी दिमाग ही वॉर मॉन्गरर है, वो ही वांट्स वॉर विद पाकिस्तान ही वांट्स वॉर विद चाइना, तो अब रशिया के पास बैठकर अब वो क्या बात करेगा, मतलब ये एक बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क है मेरे जहन में, बिकॉज सेंसिबल लोग भी बहुत हैं इंडिया के अंदर, बड़े काम और बड़े पीस लविंग लोग भी हैं, लेकिन उनको मोदी गवर्नमेंट में तो जगह नहीं मिलती ना, दैट इज द थिंग।
जयशंकर जैसे लोगों को बैठा देते हैं।
हाँ, जयशंकर, मतलब शक्ल से वो इतना क्यूट और इनोसेंट लगता है, लेकिन वो हमेशा इज स्प्यूइंग हेट अगेंस्ट both Pakistan and China.
Actually, when they lost this little skirmishes that were happening and they lost like a few jets, then Indian people were like, actually, Jaishankar, you should get like a flight outside India and you should never return again to India, because people in India, I guess, also hate these kind of stupid people.
They're saying that they've lost this war, and now they've lost the US. So in both cases, Jayashankar's performance has been really, negative.
Negative. And what about Pakistan's oil deal with United States of America? And if
there really is such a big reserve of oil, maybe Trump has this habit of making up things and all that.
Yes, but the point is that maybe we always had this oil, and I was listening to this interview that the Saudi king gave. I think that was
MBS.
Not MBS, King Faisal.
Oh.
And he said that Saudis are very basic people and don't think that you Americans can buy us with all of your money and all of your resources and all of your technology. We used to live in the desert with nothing but dates and a little bit of water, and we can go back to that lifestyle. But we won't surrender to the Americans. And what happened to King Faisal? He got shot down a few months after that. His own nephew, who was studying in the United States of America, came back and he shot him like on point blank distance, and he was killed. And since then, the Saudis were so heavily dependent on the Americans and all these dollars, billions of dollars that are coming in. Do you think that in today's world, in 2025, Saudi Arabia could go back to just eating dates and having no infrastructure, and because they've been so spoiled with all this dollars and luxuries, and some of the Saudis who have like 30 Ferraris say that we are not rich. We can show you people who are 100 times richer than us. So that is what has been happening, that they make you dependent on them, the US and the Europeans. And Pakistan has no economy, but the good part is that we're not dependent on these people. If we start selling them billions of dollars of oil, इंडिया, अगर आप लोगों को रिलाय करना है पाकिस्तान पे, तो हम आपको देंगे तेल, आप कश्मीर हमें वापस करें तो हम आपको तेल भी दे देंगे. So if we like start selling billions of dollars of oil, and now we're making all of these big cities in Pakistan and everything is getting like exponential development, and now it's like trade is like a two-way thing. Now we can't stop because we're in this thing, and we need the dollars now. So
we shouldn't take out that oil?
Maybe, but the point is that maybe Pakistanis knew this all along, and that's why they didn't give their oil, because they had the resource, but they didn't want it to get exploited.
Because when this oil was being explored in 2019, I think, there was so much news about that, and it was something, the vibe was like that they are sure about before. That US company said that no, we haven't found the oil. Everybody was so sure that the oil is there, and it's just going to be a good news for Pakistan. But what happened, that on the last day, that company came out and said that no, we haven't found any oil. So I also am of the point of view that Pakistan does have a lot of oil reserves in its ocean bed. But yes, that is the thing. That what kind of a development, when you were saying this thing comes in my mind, that what is development and what kind of a development do we want? What is going to give humanity happiness? What is going to give us a better life? What is going to give us a sustainable future? I mean, if you just, like the capitalists, they just dig out everything from the earth and make all those stuff and just sell it off, and then we have less stuff and more garbage. So, and the earth's face is distorted because of all that mining and everything. So humanity has to like decide and come to a conclusion that what it really needs. I mean, do we need all that plastic and all that
petrochemicals?
Yeah, and like so many, factories will make so much luxury products and all that, and we will buy with that money so much. So I think the real development is going to be green development, a development which will not be destroying the face of the earth and which will not be like producing so much waste and so much carbon dioxide and all that. So we need to teach ourselves and humanity.
Sustainability.
Green, sustainable.
Yeah, and plus, although we say that we don't want to rely on oil and we don't want to be very lustful and greedy, but there's a lot of poverty in Pakistan, and there's much more poverty in India. And maybe if Pakistan and India joins their hand together, they can alleviate this poverty. And that's what our President Imran Khan, our last president, used to say, that he was a cricket superstar and he had been in India so many times and he had so many friends in India. And the cricketer, I forget his name, but
Ranveer, I don't remember.
Yeah, the Sikh also came to Pakistan when Imran Khan was in power, and Imran Khan said that although he was pretty serious about the Kashmir issue, but he recommended Modi to join hands with Imran Khan to alleviate the poverty that is in the region, because we really don't even have the basic necessities for all our population, like food and medicine and hospitals and good education and an infrastructure. So at that time, Modi was like कि हमारे पास तो सारा कुछ है, अखंड भारत, और हमें पाकिस्तान जैसे जो है वो गरीब लोग हमें आकर समझाएंगे कि कैसे पॉवर्टी को ख़त्म करना है. And now it's like a slap in the face for Modi, because really and truly उनको जो है अपने नेबर्स के साथ अगर वो सही रिलेशनशिप रखें और इकट्ठे मिलके हम लोग पॉवर्टी को एलिमिनेट करने की कोशिश करें. डॉलर्स ने कुछ नहीं चेंज करना. डॉलर सिर्फ एक आँख का धोखा है. आप अपने सारे नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज दे दोगे उनको और वो आपको एक कागज़ का टुकड़ा पकड़ा देंगे. एंड व्हाट इज़ द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ $1 नोट एंड $100 नोट? इट्स जस्ट अ पीस ऑफ पेपर. इट्स जस्ट द इल्यूजन ऑफ माइंड. सो and plus with the $37 trillion of debt and how they want to inflate their currency and deflate their currency, and so much inflation is coming already, and it's going to like destroy the whole world. It's much better to help each other out with neighbors, and
that's the problem with India, that sorry to say that India is a country with this Hindutva ideologies and the religious, system, that they don't have a unity inside their own country, because the nation is already divided into these 6 or 7 castes, and the Shudri caste, or the untouchables, they are the biggest caste, and the mindset of the Hindu elite is already capitalist. They don't want equality. They don't want to alleviate that poverty you're talking about. They're not like that. So if they don't want the welfare of their own people, then how do you expect that they would want the welfare of Pakistan or Bangladesh or any other neighbor? So that's the kind of, they want to enslave everybody, because that is in their creed. Sorry to say. It's a big question mark, I think.
And especially Modi went to the United States of America and he tried to give a speech with Donald Trump in English. He murdered the English language. So with that, let's go to a few comments as well. And I don't know which comment did we. Mustafa Harun is here. So let me.
Start from Mustafa Harun because he was the last one.
I think Mohit Suri saying we don't mess with Trump. He is messing with us.
ये तो हो गया.
So you better not mess with Trump because he will mess with you. And Ram Nawaz is saying, "Bhai, mera bhi pad lo."
नहीं, don't read Ram Nivas because he's using foul language.
Ram Nawaz, we'd love to read your comments out loud, and the only problem is that you're not using language that we can really say on the stream. We like किसी का भी कोई भी opinion होता है, we're agreeing with that, and we want to know your opinion, but just try to keep it in a normal language. And Ikra is saying, Ram Nawaz introduce करवा रहे हो खुद को. Bye. Yes, that is the point कि अगर आप जो है ना I don't know, I don't want to say. So Maha saying हम पाकिस्तानी इतने bad language नहीं use करते. Suri and Ram हमारी तबीयत मोदी ने नहीं की. Mustafa Harun is saying, he says, give me a little recap what's happening right now. Mustafa, thank you for being here. I know you missed a lot of this stream, but we are today हम मोदी जी की प्यार से ना हम लोग बेइज्जती कर रहे हैं क्योंकि मोदी जी जो कि इतना बढ़ चढ़ के और बुलंद हो के और मोदी जी को देखते नहीं थे, उसको परवाह नहीं थी कि चाइना कौन है, पाकिस्तान कौन है, मुसलमान कौन है, हर एक को मोदी जी ने ना साइडलाइन किया हुआ था. तो अब मोदी जी के जो पापा जी हैं डोनाल्ड ट्रंप, उन्होंने मोदी जी को साइडलाइन कर दिया. उन्होंने कहा चलो निकलो मोदी. तो दैट्स व्हाट्स बीन हैपनिंग. एंड Ram Nawaz is saying, भाई कॉम्प्लेक्स चीज़ों को समझने के लिए उतना दिमाग भी होना चाहिए, उतना हम इंडियंस और मोदी में है. टाइम आपको आपका जवाब ही देगा. टाइम ने हमें तो बहुत कुछ सिखाया है. हमारे साथ तो पाकिस्तान के पास तो इकोनॉमी बुरी है और हमारे पास जो है वो सही गवर्नेंस सिस्टम भी नहीं है और हमारी एजुकेशन भी ख़राब है. तो हम लोग तो सीख चुके हैं सारी चीज़ें. पर अगर अब आपका टाइम आ रहा है सीखने का. So and maybe if you guys are like good to us, maybe we can send those fighter jets to you guys if you want J-17.
No, we can't send them because they have to be good with China for that.
China, yes.
दोस्ती कर लो, दोस्ती.
दोस्ती चाइना के साथ भी आपको करनी पड़ेगी. महाबलोच इससे राम जी पागल हो गए. मोहम्मद फिजान सिंह, राम नवाज, राम बकवास. I don't know, there's a lot of comments.
Mohit Suri is saying, which cities are you guys from?
Mohit Suri, we're from Lahore. We're from Punjab, and basically it's the same. We're from Pakistan.
We're from the subcontinent.
Subcontinent. Ranwas is saying, भाई आप लोग तो अमेरिका ऑयल खरीद रहे हो, आपके सरकार आपको झूठ बेचते हैं. पंजन को छोड़कर किसी एरिया पर काम नहीं करते आप लोग. पंजाब को छोड़ के सभी स्टेट आपसे अलग होना चाहते हैं.
नहीं, हमसे तो कोई भी अलग नहीं होना चाहता.
हमारे तो सारी स्टेट हमारे साथ है. Although it was a sarcastic comment, but I would like to delve deep inside कि we promised like oil and natural resources to Donald Trump, and that's why Donald Trump is like with us. But do you really think that we can take the gold out of the Reko mine, which is the largest gold mine and the largest copper mine, because it is a place which has unstable. It's an unstable place, and Balochistan, yeah. And although we're saying, and that's what Pakistan always does, promise things to all these Europeans and Americans, but when they actually have to mine it out, because it's going to take like 5 years for all the machinery and all the industry to get over there and to start mining and getting all that return. And 5 years is a long time, and usually Pakistan itself is funding these terrorist organizations who are... No?
India is funding them.
Yes, India does.
You know, Modi ji, last month ago, I think, he was standing on the podium and he was saying that हम बलोचिस्तान की मदद के लिए आएंगे, हम बलोचियों के साथ खड़े हैं, बलोची भाई फिक्र ना करें. भाई, what is that? How is he going to? भाई, तुम अपने सूबों को हेल्प करो ना. तो इस पोडियम पे खड़े होकर जब आप ये तकरीर कर रहे हो, तो इससे और बड़ा सबूत क्या है कि जो भी सेपरेटिस्ट हैं उनको इंडिया फंड कर रहा है, रॉ उनको फंड कर रहा है. कुलभूषण यादव ने खुद कह दिया है. तो पाकिस्तान आर्मी को फिर उन सेपरेटिस्ट एलिमेंट्स के साथ निपटना पड़ता है, और जब वो निपटती है तो फिर मिलाइन होती है कि जी इन्होंने बंदे उठा लिए हैं और गायब कर दिए हैं. भाई, जब वो सेपरेटिस्ट वाले काम करेंगे, रिबेलियन करेंगे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ, तो फिर आपको तो इसी तरह के स्टेप्स उठाने पड़ेंगे ना. तो फिर आप इंटरनेशनल मीडिया में जाकर कहते हो कि जी ये हो गया, वो हो गया. टेररिस्ट और सेपरेटिस्ट को तो इसी तरह से निपटना पड़ता है, बिकॉज यू नो दे आर पार्ट ऑफ द कम्युनिटी, दे आर पार्ट ऑफ द पीपल. वो आते हैं, छुपते हैं, असलहा लेकर छुपा के रखते हैं अपने घरों में. तो किस तरह से ऐसे लोगों के साथ डील किया जाएगा?
Yes, although I believe that military solution is not the final solution. Actually, there needs to be dialogue and there needs to be reconciliation
there needs to
between people. But when India is providing these rebellious people with all of these equipment, especially we see that some of these guys have rocket launchers and some of these guys have like advanced weaponry, like even tanks are over there.
These separatists, you know, and terrorist outfits are the ones who have been attacking Chinese workers and, you know, people in the Gabadar area, in the working on the CPEC different projects. And what does that prove? Like, why are the terrorists, if they are Baloch separatists and genuinely they want a separate Balochistan, why are they attacking Chinese? You know, and the other thing that if Gwadar port is going to be developed, who is going to benefit the most? The Balochistan people. If the Reko is going to like start working, who is going to benefit most? Definitely Balochistan. I mean, they're going to get their share. So obvious in my opinion.
Actually, there was
already this, you know, if you go to the Google Earth and open the roads on the Google Earth, you're going to see a network of roads already built inside Balochistan that were not there before. ये सब CPEC के उसके अंदर बन रही हैं.
There's been a lot of construction, and it's not just the roads, it's like all of the other infrastructure like the power lines and the power stations and other internet services, and it's a lot of things. Belt and Road Initiative and the CPEC initiative is not just one thing. But what I wanted to say is that there was this attack on the bus which was carrying all these Chinese people somewhere near, I don't know where, the northern areas. And that is when Xi Jinping himself came out and he said, we're very sad about the attack on this bus, and we're going to do our research, and we ourselves are going to find out through our intelligence agencies who's behind this. And even Xi Jinping knows that India is behind all these terrorist attacks that have been happening on the Chinese engineers and the Chinese workers. And that is such a big blow. And also, what is Modi ji doing? For the past so many years, he's been trying to cut the Belt and Road thing off. Even Modi ji went as far as saying that he's going to take over that area, the connection, the border between Pakistan and India. He wants to take it over when this war was happening in Kashmir.
Galwan.
Kashmir, yeah. So if you, because it's like the Karakoram Highway, I guess it's the highest altitude road in the whole wide world, and it's like a land connection between China and Pakistan, and it's not a very huge place. And the Indian occupied, I'm sorry to say, Pakistan has legit claim over Kashmir, and the Indian occupied Kashmir is very close to all that area, and Modi ji just wants to cut off. I think if there's a full-scale war, the first place Modi ji would attack would be this Belt and Road infrastructure. So the link between China and Pakistan is cut off. What do you say about that?
Actually, there's this, northernmost tip of occupied Kashmir that opens into the Xinjiang province, and just a few miles ahead is that road, the Karakoram Highway road that enters in from China into Pakistan. And what the Indians were doing since Modi's term started, the first term, they started building a lot of roads inside occupied Kashmir, and they had developed a whole military garrison at that northernmost part. And China was looking at this thing, and Pakistan was looking at this thing, that this camp and this military outpost is being made by India to cross the border and occupy that portion which you are talking about, the entry point from China to Gilgit-Baltistan, that is passing the Karakoram Highway that you are saying. So these things that the Indian government was like, they have made big tunnels and a lot of roads that support their military activity inside Kashmir. This whole thing is in not Jammu and Kashmir, it's in Ladakh. Which is very sparsely populated, and there is no population. So who are you making those roads for?
Yeah.
So
they're
what
making
happened
a
is
huge infrastructure
that China actually attacked this whole area, the Galwan and all that. In 2020, I think this war happened. So the Chinese military is still occupying a big chunk of land in Ladakh. And India, being so pompous and such a big, strategic and aspirant of being a regional power, has not been able to, as yet, drive the Chinese military out of Ladakh. They're still there. The high-level meetings keep on going, and China says, yes, we are ready, we want to go back, but they don't.
China actually took over a few kilometers
from the India. Rajnath Singh, who is their defense minister, inside parliament, he said that China is occupying 45,000 kilometers of Ladakh.
And you're talking about a fight with Pakistan. First deal with the Chinese. So, Hassan Haroon is saying, politics पे बात करनी है तो पकड़ा दे बस. Politics पे बात करनी है तो कहाँ था मैं? बात करनी है तो लॉजिक चाहिए, और जब लॉजिक ख़त्म हो जाए तो कमेंट्स में राम और सूरी राज होते का राज होता है. Mohammed Fizan is saying Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, Iranian president, signed agreements to boost bilateral trade to $10 billion. And the accord also includes cooperation on counterterrorism and regional peace. That is a very good news if Iran, because Iran...
2 days ago this happened, yes.
Iran was...
Pezeshkian was here in Pakistan. And you know what I want to say about this is that a few years back, when Trump put sanctions on Iran, and he ordered everybody in his last tenure, he ordered everybody, I think it was Trump or Biden, they ordered everybody to stop buying oil from Iran. And India was at that time a very close friend of Iran. And they were making that Chabahar port in Iran. So India suddenly said, okay, there are so many sanctions on Iran, so we are not buying oil from you. So just to please their US master, they lost such a valuable friend, because Iran was, if Iran is friends with India, what happens is that India gets an inroad into Afghanistan also, and India gets a place where it can maneuver against Pakistan also. But it lost that very valuable friend. And since then, and before that also, Pakistan was having good relations with Iran, but since then, Iran and Pakistan are coming closer and closer. And 2 days back, Pezeshkian, their prime minister, was in Pakistan with signing this deal with Shehbaz Sharif.
That is a very good sign for Pakistan, and especially Iran is like our neighbor, although we are good friends with Saudi Arabia as well, and there's like a Shia-Sunni debate. But I don't really care about the Shia-Sunni debate. I think that we can be friends with the Saudis as well as with the Iranis. And Iranis have also proved their might and power in the recent war between Israel and Iran.
Yeah.
So
Gaza and Israel, yes.
And also some of the oil that Iran exports comes through Pakistan and goes to all the other places. So yeah, Pakistan and
yes, and the interesting thing is that this rapprochement between Iran and Saudi Arab, that we are all saying that China made that happen, Pakistan also played a part in it, because Pakistan has always been trying to be a bridge between Iran and Saudi Arabia, because Iran is Pakistan's first door neighbor, and Pakistan does not want an unstable region where Iran is fighting with Saudi Arab, and Pakistan has to always come to the aid of the Saudis in any case of a battle. And if you remember Rahil Sharif, when he was made the chief of this Islamic NATO force, you call that, the first thing that Rahil Sharif said before even leaving Pakistan, he said that I want to negotiate, have a negotiation between Iran and Saudis to end the Yemen war. So we've had this type of character for our region for a long time,
That is a great point. And let me go back to a few comments as well. And Ram Nawaz is saying, भाई आंखें खोलेंगे तो आपके देश का ही फड्डा होगा। अमेरिका को आज़ादी ही आपको उससे करता आया है। अमेरिका को आज़ादी ही आपको उससे करता आया है, अब भी आपकी आर्मी ही करती है जो अमेरिका जनता के पैसा जनता
का पैसा जनता के लिए नहीं, सिर्फ आर्मी यूज़ करती है। हाँ, कुछ बातें तो तुमने ठीक कही है राम नवाज। हमारी भी पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम को इतना पाक साफ नहीं है, बट ये कि हम लोग
मगर हम लोग उसी अब एंगल पे हैं जिस एंगल पे इंडिया था ना, क्योंकि इंडिया अमेरिका का पिट्ठू बन के तो सारी अमेरिका की ख्वाहिशें पूरी करता था। अब जब अमेरिका का इंटरेस्ट इंडिया से ख़त्म हो रहा है तो पाकिस्तान कह रहा है कि हम लोग क्यों ना फ़ायदा उठाएं, एंड इट्स लाइक द बेस्ट टाइम फॉर पाकिस्तान।
एक चीज़ क्लियर होनी चाहिए हमारे ऑडियंस को कि ऑल्दो कि पाकिस्तान ने आगे बढ़कर ट्रंप का थैंक यू किया, नोबेल प्राइज़ के लिए उसको बोला, फिर ट्रंप ने आकर ये डील वील की बात की, लेकिन ट्रंप को अच्छी तरीके से पता है कि पाकिस्तान ने वॉर किस तरह जीती है, चाइना की दोस्ती की वजह से जीती है, और पाकिस्तान कभी भी चाइना के ख़िलाफ़ कुछ नहीं करेगा। सो ट्रंप को ये सब पता है, और उसके बावजूद उसने आकर हमारे साथ ये सारी बातें की हैं। सो इंडिया को भी अब लर्न करना है, और वो लर्न कर रहा है, आई थिंक सो, कि मतलब बैलेंस क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा। और इनफैक्ट इंडिया हमेशा ये कहता है, और एनालिस्ट उनके हमेशा कहते हैं कि रशिया के साथ तो इंडिया की बहुत अच्छी दोस्ती है, और द थिंग इज़ के रशिया के साथ आपकी दोस्ती तो है, पुराने ताल्लुकात भी हैं, लेकिन जब यूक्रेन की वॉर जब से शुरू हुई है तो आपने एक दफ़ा भी रशिया के हक़ में कोई बयान नहीं दिया। आप यूएस की, बिकॉज़ अब वहाँ पर आपकी एक क्रॉस लाइन में आप फंस गए कि एक तरफ रशिया है, दूसरी तरफ यूएस, तो आप तो यूएस के स्ट्रेटेजिक एलाय हो, और फिर रशिया की जो दोस्ती है वो आपसे बहुत ज़्यादा मल्टीपल टाइम्स चाइना के साथ है। तो नाउ अगर आपने रशिया से दोस्ती करनी है तो आपको सोच समझ के वहाँ जाना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज़ रशिया से दोस्ती करने का मतलब ये है कि उसकी डिमांड होगी कि चाइना के ख़िलाफ़ कोई भी कार्रवाई नहीं होगी, कोई भी स्टेटमेंट नहीं दी जाएगी, क्वाड वाले में से निकल जाओ और ब्रिक्स में तमीज़ से आके शामिल हो, जो हमारा एजेंडा होता है, बिकॉज़ ब्रिक्स डेफिनेटली चाइना और रशिया की लीडरशिप में ही आगे चलेगी। तो इंडिया विल हैव टू लाइक
And also, we want to discuss about all the agreements that have been happening, like the SARC agreement and all the other things that India was opposing. India wasn't getting in the right camp, and now they realize that they need to be in the right camp. But before that, I'll go to that as well. Hassan Haroon. I mean,
God,
the comment section today is like the best comment section. It's like a whole story that is going on in the comment section. So we really like and we enjoy what's going on. So Hassan Haroon is saying हर मुल्क का अपना एक्सपोर्ट होता है, हमारा टैलेंट और तहजीब है, और कुछ लोग सिर्फ ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस और जुमले एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं. I think that was pointed towards Ram. Ram is saying, भाई पहले ईरान से आने वाली पाइपलाइन तो कंप्लीट कर लो, अग्रीमेंट तो करते रहते हो, उससे पूरा तो कर लो. Yes, the pipeline, but that is the same thing कि ईरान के ऊपर सारे sanctions, अगर हम उनके साथ पाइपलाइन अपनी जो है बना लें, what's the point? Because we can't really get oil from Iran and export it like legally. And in another way, हम लोगों ने इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स किए हुए ईरान के साथ बहुत बड़े मैसिव स्केल पे, क्योंकि हम अगर उनसे ऑयल नहीं ले सकते तो हम कहते हैं कि तुम इस ऑयल से बिजली बनाओ और फिर बिजली हम एक्सपोर्ट कर दो. तो in certain ways, Pakistan and Iran are working together for a better and a more prosperous future. So Mohammed Fazan is saying, during PM Shahbaz visit to Azerbaijan, multiple agreements were signed, 2 billion investment in energy, infrastructure and mining. I mean, people are willing to invest in Pakistan. Even the Saudis are doing all these big investments and everything. That is a great point, Fazan. And Ram Nawaz is saying, why दो या तीन भी दिल आप ही करते हो. इंडिया ट्रिलियन में चलता है. अच्छा, बिलियन, 2 या 3 बिलियन की
हम 2 या 3 बिलियन में खुश हैं राम, हम इतने लालची नहीं है ट्रिलियंस वाले.
ट्रिलियन तो पहुंच गए थे, 4 ट्रिलियन पहुंच गए थे राम जी आप लोग, मगर जब ट्रम्प आया तो उसके आने के 15-20 दिन में ही आप 3 ट्रिलियन पे पहुंच गए, और अब 50% टैरिफ लगे हैं तो शायद आप 2 ट्रिलियन पे पहुंच जाओ, और 1 साल बाद आप 1 ट्रिलियन पे पहुंच जाओ, और फिर 2 साल बाद आप 0 पे पहुंचोगे. So there's a lot of comments and I always get confused where I don't know.
Fazan is saying your agreement with the US is only 50% done. You should complete it 100%. Why? I mean, 50% वाली बात से तो डर ही लग रहा है जैसे कि 50% इंडिया पे. कहीं ट्रम्प कल को ये ना कहे कि 50% पाकिस्तान
पाकिस्तान पे वैसे लास्ट टाइम हम लोग बड़े खुश हो रहे थे, किसी इंडियन ने आगे कहा कि पाकिस्तानी तुम लोग बहुत जल्दी खुश हो जाते हो, तो ट्रम्प ने पाकिस्तान पे भी कुछ टैरिफ लगा दिए 20% या समथिंग, 19 पे आ गए. तो मगर इंडिया वाले आप लोग भी इतनी जल्दी खुश ना हुआ करोगे, 25% तो सिर्फ अभी शुरुआत थी, 50 और 100 भी आप लोग देखोगे. भाई हमारे यहाँ एक लाइन है,
शिक्षा से ज्ञान तक.
एजुकेशन, हाँ पढ़े,
एजुकेशन अलग चीज़ है और नॉलेज अलग. ये यहाँ इंग्लिश झाड़ने से
ऊपर नहीं हो
नहीं,
जाते। इंग्लिश जानने से वैसे वाकई कोई ऊपर नहीं होता।
तो
अ,
शिक्षा मतलब अच्छा
से
से
गयान
ज्ञान।
तक। अच्छा, we
हाँ,
need to do a little more research on these pipelines because we don't know anything about,
विच
unfortunately.
विच पाइपलाइंस?
हमारी यहाँ एक लाइन है, शिक्षा से ज्ञान तक।
नहीं, ये तो
अच्छा
शिक्षा अक्लमंदी है ना,
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा
और वो ज्ञान है मतलब डीप नॉलेज,
नॉलेज। अच्छा
और
अच्छा
शिक्षा कुछ
अच्छा।
एनर्जी टाइप चीज़ होती है शिक्षा तो।
लाइबा अकरम सिंह जो मुल्क खुद पैलेस्टाइन, असम, मणिपुर और कश्मीर में इंसानियत का टेस्ट फेल कर रहा हो, उसे दूसरे मुल्कों का सिलेबस नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए। अपनी क्लास
पढ़ाना
में
नहीं चाहिए।
पास हो जाओ पहले, सूर्य राम।
हाँ, वैसे एक बात है, पाकिस्तान तो फ़लस्तीन के भी हक में है, कश्मीरियों के भी हक में है, और असम और मणिपुर को भी हम चाहते हैं कि वो आज़ादी मिल जाए।
राम नवाज सिंह भाई, उसको 77 बी होता है बस।
बिलियन।
हाँ,
हाँ।
यूएस को 77 बिलियन होता है बस, जिसमें से अभी भी एप्पल प्रोडक्ट्स पर ज़ीरो और फार्मास्यूटिकल्स पर ज़ीरो और भी कई सेक्टर्स पे ज़ीरो
हाँ, 3
है।
सेक्टर्स पे ही ज़ीरो है, और ट्रम्प ने कहा है कि अगर ये लोग मेरी बात नहीं माने तो मैं अभी और सरप्राइजेस भी दूंगा।
और वो आपको ये लगता है कि आपके वो फार्मास्यूटिकल से उनको प्यार है, या आपके एप्पल प्रोडक्ट से उनको प्यार है, या आपके तीसरा कौन सा सेक्टर है, जो भी सेक्टर तीसरा है।
वो आई थिंक अपैरल्स और कपड़ों का है,
हाँ, तो
रेडीमेड।
ये इस तरह बिल्कुल भी नहीं है कि अमेरिका को आपके सेक्टर से प्यार है तो वो आपको 0% टैरिफ कर रहा है। ये है कि उसको इन चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है, तो जो उसको चीज़ों की ज़रूरत होगी उसके ऊपर वो टैरिफ लगाएगा। मगर द पॉइंट स्टिल रिमेंस के एप्पल जो है अपनी पाइपलाइन और अपनी सारी टेक्नोलॉजी और अपना सारा इंडस्ट्री फॉक्सकॉन चाइना से शिफ्ट करके इंडिया में लाना चाह रहा था, मगर ट्रंप को जब ये बात पता चली तो ट्रंप ने बहुत बुरी तरह टिम कुक को कॉल की, सीईओ को, और उसको जलील किया कि भाई बेटा ये काम करने से पहले सोच लेना। और उससे अगले दिन ही टिम कुक ने $600 बिलियन की यूएसए के अंदर इन्वेस्टमेंट का ऐलान कर दिया। बिकॉज यू हैव टू नो कि चाइना को अभी आप बीट नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि अगर आपने अभी आज एप्पल का आईफोन बनाना है, आपको लेबर चाहिए, आपको इंडस्ट्री चाहिए, आपको व्हाट कैन यू से कि सारे इंजीनियर्स चाहिए, आपको इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाहिए। वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप करने के लिए 5 साल लगेंगे। उस 5 साल में अमेरिका चाइना के साथ खुश है, वो चाहता है कि चलो सही है, चाइना पहले हमें दे रहा था, चाइना हमें देता रहे। मगर वो किसी तरह भी ये नहीं चाह रहा कि एप्पल प्रोडक्ट्स के इंडस्ट्री पूरी इंडिया के अंदर वो लगा दे। तो दैट इज़ लाइक रियली बिग फैंटेसी दैट मिस्टर मोदी हैज़ के क्या पता एप्पल जो है वो पाकिस्तान इंडिया के अंदर आ जाए और वहाँ वो फैक्ट्रीज लगा ले। दैट इज़ नेवर गोइंग टू हैपन, स्पेशली अंडर ट्रम्प्स रूल। एंड राम नवाज सिंह भाई, इंडिया पैलेस्टाइन के साथ आ गया।
कहाँ से आ गए और
हाँ,
पाकिस्तान में कहाँ से आ गए?
टू
कंफ्यूज हो रहे।
कंफ्यूजिंग।
राम नवाज, आप क्यों कंफ्यूज हो रहे हो? पैलेस्टाइन और गज़ा की जो वॉर है वो पूरी इंसानियत से उसका ताल्लुक है। मतलब गज़ा के लोगों का जेनोसाइड हो रहा है, तो हर दुनिया की ह्यूमैनिटी का एक एक बंदे को उनके साथ खड़े होना चाहिए, किसी भी मज़हब से आपको ताल्लुक हो। आपके मुल्क में भी अगर किसी भी सेक्टर ऑफ पॉपुलेशन पे अगर कोई जेनोसाइड हो रहा होगा, उनके साथ जुल्म ऑपरेशन हो रहा होगा, तो सारी इंसानियत को उस सेक्टर के साथ खड़ा होना चाहिए। अंडरस्टैंड? कन्फ्यूजन दूर हो।
राम नवाज सिंह भाई, मुझे लग रहा है आप लड़ने वाले हो मेरे से। सिम्टम्स तो वही लग रहे हैं, क्योंकि किसी का मजाक बनाना लड़ने से पहले वाला स्टेप होता है। नहीं
तो
नहीं
बेटा
नहीं।
राम निवास, आप भी तो हमारा बहुत मजाक उड़ा रहे हो।
तो राम निवास, हम लोग लड़ने के लिए यकीन नहीं रखते, हम लोग अच्छे शरीफ लोग हैं और हम लोग वैसी शुगर लगा रहे हैं। और वी आर वेरी हैप्पी दैट विद ऑल द इंडियंस हु वॉच आवर शो। एंड
राम नवास और ये मोहित के आने की वजह से हमारा कमेंट्स जो सेक्शन है वो इतना लाइवली हो गया है, मतलब एवरीबडी इज लाइक एंजॉयिंग।
महा सिंह, तुम भाई कंफ्यूज ही रहो, गे पूरी जिंदगी। रामनिवास सिंह लो एक और फड्डा आ गया महाबलोच, ये लग रहा है कि
पीएचडी आ गया।
पीएचडी आ गया, पीएचडी आ गया महाबलोच, यहाँ यहाँ लग रहा है ग्रामर टेस्ट हो रहा है शायद। एंड फैजान सिंह जैसे
चेंगडू
चेंगडू J10C विगरस ड्रैगन इंडिया में चलेगा।
चला गया था,
मैं चला गया था।
भाई
हाँ
थोड़ा
जैसे
सा
हाँ
कंफ्यूजिंग चीज बातें करते हो आप लोग से।
नहीं J10C जो है वो जहाज है ना,
हाँ
वो हमारा फाइटर जेट इंडिया के अंदर घुस गया
अच्छा
था।
राइट।
महा सिंह बदतमीज लोग यही तहजीब आपके बस है। मनमोहन सूरी सिंह राम भाई छोड़ो ये सब
लड़ना ही चाहते हैं
ही चाहते हैं,
कि हम तो
फाइटिंग स्पिरिट होनी चाहिए। I don't know, there's so many comments, how can we go through
you
all of
can't
them?
read all of them, you know.
Let me just read quickly a few, then we'll get back to our discussion. Yes, I want to fight. How rude you're Indians all the time. How rude you are Indians all the time. Ram Nawaz is saying, जब भी भाई जब आप लोगों ने ब्राह्मोस के खुद की कलेक्ट किए थे भूल गए थे भाई, अभी इंडिया आप लोगों से हर चीज में एडवांस है। फिर भी फाइट नहीं चाहता, लेकिन जिस दिन आप एडवांटेज में होगे आओ तुरंत तुरंत
तुरंत
तुरंत तुरंत हो जाएंगे तुरंत।
नहीं एक्चुअली आई डोंट नो क्या कह रहे हैं ये मुझे तो।
कि हम लोग की वैसे टेक्नोलॉजी, क्योंकि इंडिया ने
इंडिया हर
अपने
चीज में
जैमिंग
हमसे आगे
सिस्टम
इस तरह से है कि 1.4 बिलियन में से 800 मिलियन पीपल आर बिलो द पॉवर्टी लाइन।
Oh my God, that
इतना
is
तो हम नहीं कर सकते।
it's like a record, Mr. Modi. And isn't our like क्योंकि इंडिया का जो राफेल आ रहा था वो फ्रेंच था, और जो उनका S-400 सिस्टम था वो रशियन था, और जो बाकी उनके सिस्टम थे वो कहीं अमेरिकन या यूरोपियन थे। तो इस वजह से इंडिया के पास टेक्नोलॉजी है, उनके हमारे से मिलिट्री स्पेंडिंग हमारी 9 बिलियन है, उनकी 86 बिलियन है। तो देयर इज़ लाइक अ ह्यूज गैप बिटवीन पाकिस्तान एंड इंडिया। बट देन अगैन क्योंकि पाकिस्तान के पास सारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाइनीज़ है, हमारे डिफेंस सिस्टम्स भी, हमारे मिसाइल्स भी, हमारे जेट्स भी, तो आपस में जो सिस्टम्स की कम्युनिकेशन है वो पाकिस्तान की बहुत बेहतर है। दैट्स वाई पाकिस्तान एडवांटेज पे है। मोदी जी को लगता था कि मोदी जी के पास बहुत ज़्यादा राफेल जेट जब आया ना इंडिया के अंदर लैंड हुआ, तो उन्होंने कोकोनट रखा उसके टायर के पास, और कोकोनट जैसे कोई नई आपके घर लड़की आती है, आपकी बेगम जो है अभी नई नई शादी होती है, तो आप कुछ चीज़ तोड़ते हो। तो मगर जो राफेल जेट है वो आपके काम नहीं कर पाए, जो आपके S-400 है वो आपके काम नहीं कर पाए।
एक्चुअली जो चाइना का सैटेलाइट सिस्टम है ना, बेदू और इस तरह के और भी हैं जिनसे ये सारी सिस्टम को नेविगेट मिल रहा था, वो दुनिया के सारे सैटेलाइट सिस्टम में से इस वक्त एडवांस समझा जाता है। मतलब यूएस और ये जो यूरोपियन जो सिस्टम्स हैं उनके से आगे समझा जा रहा है कि चाइना ने ज़्यादा अच्छा वो बनाया। तो दैट्स वाई वो नेविगेट भी फास्ट स्पीड में कर सके और जैमिंग भी वो ज़्यादा करवा सके।
Yes.
तो बात मैंने पहले भी कही थी।
That is a great point. And Laib Akram is saying, ज्ञान तो तब मिलेगा जब सच्चाई बर्दाश्त करने का हौसला होगा। इंग्लिश या शिक्षा का फर्क नहीं पड़ता जब हकीकत मिरर की तरह मुंह पे लगती है। राम जी सिलेबस याद करना सीख लो पहले। राम नवाज से एक भाई सच्चाई तो कड़वा होगा। मुस्तफ़ा सिंह योर ट्रम्प्स बिन कुकिंग। राम नवाज से एक भाई अमेरिका की मार्केट भी अकेली वर्ल्ड में इंडिया खुद भी बहुत बड़ा मार्केट है।
हाँ ये है, अपने खुद ही बना के खुद ही खरीद लो।
आप मोदी जी की बेइज्जती कर रहे हैं वली, हम आपके साथ दे रहे हैं कमेंट्स में। सूर्य राम यहाँ बेइज्जती की, यहाँ बेइज्जती हो रही है। And Rafi saying, Ram Nawaz is right. You smile too much when you find the time to think. I've already pre-planned all my insults to Modi, so I don't need to think. I just smile all the way. Aruj Fatma saying, yes,
Rafi is
Ram.
also first timer, I think, here.
I think he's been a few times.
Mhm.
Yes, Ram, India एक गंदी मार्केट है, हम शॉपिंग नहीं करते. I mean, I've read too much comments, and give me like 2-3 minutes to get back to the next comments. And meanwhile, we'll get back to our discussion, which is like a very important discussion: 40% tariffs on India, 50% tariffs on India, and एक महीने के अंदर we might see like 100% tariffs on India.
Maybe Modi will do some deal. Yeah.
Do some deals. So, coming back to our topic, the SARC decline, basically, China was like doing the SARC thing.
No, China wanted to be a member, and
in
India
the-
got angry about that.
Because in 2016 there were the Uri attacks, and because of that, India shifted its like bilateral agreements from its own regional friends or its own neighbors towards what USA wanted. And we also want to talk about the military agreements that were done with India and with United States. Some of them are LEMOA and COMCASA and BECA and ISA. And they declared themselves like major defense partners in 2016. And they also granted strategic trade authority, which was tier 1 status in 2018. And because of that, US Indo-Pacific strategy was formed. And in 2008, Indo-Pacific Command was formed. And in 2019, Free and Open Indo-Pacific Treaty was declared. So this is the time when India should have been coming closer. एंड हमारे कमेंट्स में भी आ रहा था कि आप लोगों को टाइम बताएगा पाकिस्तानियों को कि कौन सही है कौन गलत है. तो यही हुआ कि बैक इन द डेज व्हेन we used to be like we should be friends, and China was trying to incorporate India. And agar hum local regional superpower, because you have to understand that China has been around for the past 4,000 years and is going to exist for the next 4,000 years. United States is just like a very new country, maybe 200-300 years old. And the subcontinent has been here for such a long while. जब ब्रिटिश के आने से पहले we had like 23% of the world's GDP was subcontinent, and the 100-year rule of the British, the GDP never increased more than 1% in all of those 100-year period when the British were ruling. So the point is that these people might have dollars and they might have all the infrastructure and technology right now, but they are not the real superpowers of the world. They're just here for a small blip in the world history, and the USA will be gone, and the USA might also be divided in a lot of different states and parts, but the human population and the billions of people that are in China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, almost half of the world's population is only in these few countries. Why is this world like that we fight against each other? And India has prioritized a net security provider in IOR, and US, India, Japan, and Australia are the central pillars to this IOR. And the strategy is aimed at countering China. And how weird is that, that you have been like countering,
Part.
countering. And China's alternative vision is to reject Indo-Pacific term, and in the Asia Pacific, they use this term that is called Asia Pacific.
Yeah, because the term Indo-Pacific was created by the US because they wanted India to be like boosted, and they wanted to give India this status of a net security provider of the Indian Ocean region. And all the Indian Ocean region countries were not happy with that, because Pakistan doesn't want India to be a net security provider. Bangladesh doesn't want India to be the net security provider, because what they're going to do, they're not going to provide security, but they are going to become hegemons on us, dictate their will on us. So we were not ready for that type of a role for India. But the narrative being built by the US and India was this, that it's going to be a Indo-Pacific. So China changed that narrative into a
Asia Pacific. And talking more about China, China's Indian Ocean Forum, which was launched in 2022, and the members, the members of this forum are Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bangladesh, Iran, Nepal, Djibouti, Oman, and India was included. And this is just 2022, like when coronavirus was here and all the world was locked down. And it was called the Ironclad. And the ties between Pakistan and Iran were fixed and got much deeper because of these agreements that China was doing, China's initiative. And China has also created the GDI development, which focuses on health, education, and poverty. They've also created GSI, which is security, security and shared protection. And they've also created CGI, which is for civilization and ideological interference. And they have this also policy called the Dual, which uses ports across the Indian Oceans. It has peace submarine cables, and these cables are the biggest cables. We were just discussing this before the live stream, that these cables go like 15,000 to 25,000 kilometers, and they have been active since December 2022, and they go through all the Indian Ocean, like underneath the ocean, and it's going to go to Europe in the future. And it's like this big, because communication is the key, and you need to have high speed communication between countries, and China is actively building these cables, and India is no part. India is actually excluded, and the cables are just going from thousands and thousands of kilometers of Indian territory, Indian waters. So China has also launched the BeiDou satellite system, and that's why Tariff fails got shot down. Global South alignment is also a new factor, and this forum attracts countries seeking peace, development, non-interference, trade, and connectivity. And India is increasingly getting isolated regionally. And that is not because we hate India. That is because what India thinks about all the rest of its neighbors. Like, I'm sure they're proud Indians, but you should be happy with your neighbors as well, because we're all the same people. And that is like, I don't know, that the British wanted to divide us. That's the point that needs to be out all over this region, that who is your real enemy? First, you need to identify who your real enemy is. And what is the US bloc? US bloc, their main ally is Australia. And even Australia nowadays is avoiding naming China. And Australia is actually increasing its trade heavily with China. So the American bloc is already, their biggest allies are already falling apart and they're going towards China. And Japan, they've killed so many Japanese in World War II, and Japanese have been critical of US bases, and they have skipped a few NATO summits because of America's involvement and what happened with Hiroshima and Nagasaki and all the other bombs that they were dropping. It's just like insane story. And with Trump and the policy shift, this all weakens Indo-Pacific bloc, which is India's bread and butter, and it's eased chip sanctions on China, and it's planning the Quad's future is basically uncertain under Donald J. Trump.
Yes.
And with that, I'd also like to, because we've been talking about the past, I also want to talk about the future, but all the information that I just gave, do you have like some opinion? Do you want to add something to that?
Yes, it's like, just like you said, that India has been like quitting the forums in which Pakistan was a member, including like SARC. India stopped attending SARC meetings, and then in I think 2015 or 17, it said that it's no longer going to be a part of the SARC, and it started another BIMSTEC, forum, which had all these, South Asian countries, Sri Lanka, this Nepal, and this Maldives, and all these, and but it did not have Pakistan in it. So India was making this thing, like this thing clear to Pakistan that it does not want to be friends with Pakistan. And then there was this another Indian Ocean Rim Association, in which India had a leading role. And in that Indian Ocean Rim Association, all the rim countries were present, were a part of that, except and only except Pakistan. So what message does Pakistan get from that? So that is the reason. And then in 2007, when the US make this Quad, what happens? That India becomes partner with Japan and Australia and US. These four countries make the Quad, and Quad says in its policy statements that our purpose is to stop the growth of China. So what message does that give? What message is India giving to China? And what message is India giving to Pakistan? So that is the thing. But on the other hand, just like I said before, China and Russia, they've always like welcomed India in all those their own forums, like the SCO, like the BRICS, like the SPIF that Russia has made. So that's the thing, that this is a demise, that this is the hole that India was digging for others, and it has fallen into its own pit.
That's like a very interesting point, because India was like goody-goody with America, and it was cutting off all its ties with its neighbors, and now America is backstabbing. But the real point that I wanted to say is what Maha is saying to Ram Nawaz. And Ram Nawaz said something about atta. भाई जी खुद सोचता है ठीक से, उससे ही समझ आ गई है सब. राम और सूरी जाके, हाँ एक दिन आटे वाला कमेंट कहाँ है? There was some आटे वाला comment. Maha said Ram और सूरी जाके सो जाओ. नहीं, that was not the comment. भाई पहले आटा खरीद लो, उसके बाद शॉपिंग कर लेना इंडिया में. तो महा से इसके भाई तुम्हारी बातों से लगता है तुम आटा बेचने वाले हो. आटा बेचने वाले लगते हो तो. अच्छा, Aruj and Ram are fighting in Maha, and Maha saying Ram ji पागल हो रहे हैं. Aruj Fatma saying पहले भी पागल ही था. हो नहीं रहा. राम सिंह समझदार को सब पागल ही बोलते हैं. सबकी समझदार हो जाते तो दुनिया में पीस आ जाता, और पागल को सब पागल ही लगेंगे. आपका कसूर नहीं. दैट इज लाइक, ये बचपन में हम लोग कहते थे कि पागल कभी मानता नहीं कि वो पागल है. फिर हम अगले से पूछते थे क्या तुम पागल हो. तो इस टाइम पे हम लोग मान रहे हैं कि हम पागल हैं. क्योंकि जो नहीं मानता वो पागल है, वो असल वो पागल होता है. मोहित सूर्य सिंह, राम भाई आप भी मस्ती के मूड में हैं. एक्चुअली राम एंड मोहित, आई थिंक देर एंजॉइंग ऑल ऑफ दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन, एंड इट्स बिन लाइक लेजेंडरी फाइट. महा सिंह हा हा हा, अब देखो साथ ही अच्छी बातें करने की ट्राई, वो भी रोते हुए. राम सिंह भाई मैं तो मार्केट में पैसे लगाता हूँ, मैं तो न्यूज़ सुनता रहता हूँ मार्केट की. मैंने सर्च किया यूएस टैरिफ्स को, वाई ये वीडियो आ गई सामने, मुझे आ रहा था टाइम पास की ही रहा. अच्छा, थैंक यू. एंड दैट्स गुड कि अगर आप स्टॉक मार्केट के अंदर पैसे लगा रहे हो. एंड there's a comment, live comment, a person who's sitting in a studio, वो कह रहा है कि वहाँ भी आपका 50% लॉस हुआ है. तो नहीं, that's good. And sometimes we do talk about the stock market and what's going on with that. And thank you if you like our live stream and if you're enjoying it. एंड सूरी जी, महा सिंह, सूरी जी आप क्यों राम जी के दिमाग के टीचर बने के ट्राई कर रहे हो बार बार, वो तो जवाब तक नहीं देता आपको. सो दैट इज लाइक डिवाइड एंड कॉन्कर. सूरी राम जी को जो है ना वो डिवाइड करने की कोशिश कर रही है माँ, क्योंकि आपस में अगर लड़ पड़े ना तो दैट इज गुड. मोहित सूरी का कम्स बैक एंड सेज दिया तो अभी. रामनाथ सिंह, हे भगवान, पाकिस्तान की गवर्नमेंट ने खाया क्या बाहर रखा है अपनी पब्लिक के दिमाग से. सॉरी नॉट गवर्नमेंट, पाक आर्मी जो अगेन सॉरी अमेरिका रेंट वाली आर्मी. हाँ, आई डोंट नो.
हम तो रेंट ले लेते हैं, आप तो बगैर रेंट के ही उनकी चमचे बन.
चलो हम रेंट तो ले रहे हैं ना एटलीस्ट. एंड समझदार को क्या जवाब देना.
ना समझ बच्चों को ठीक करना जरूरी है.
जरूरी. अगर हम दोस्ती कर लेना तो ज़्यादा अच्छा हो जाए. भाई से इसी बहाने हमने आपको भगवान याद करवा दिया. अब वैसे ट्रम्प ने जो है ना मोदी जी को भगवान याद कराया है मुझे लगता है. एंड Ram and Suri bro, keep your language at some same level as your Wi-Fi signal, otherwise your connection just cuts off. And I don't know, there's like a lot of comments. Can we like read them all?
No, you can't. Oh my God.
So let's talk about the future, and then I'll read a few comments and then we'll call it a day because we've been doing it for...
It's like 4 in the night.
4 in the night and more than 2 hours of this live stream.
Mashallah.
So, coming back to our topic, China is like the top trading partner for 140 plus countries, and more than 135 countries have joined the Belt and Road Initiative, which supplies 30% of global manufacturing and is the central node in all of the global supply chain. That is China and its Belt and Road Initiative. So if we get to the bigger picture, and if we get to trade or power or trade versus power, the Indian Ocean Forum versus Indian ambitions controls over 4 trillion in trades in the sea lanes, and this is at stake. And and um, China always rejects the zero sum game and the zero sum worldview.
Yes, I would like to
Hmm.
tell the audience what the zero sum game is, because it's a little confusing. Zero sum games means ke if if you win, I lose, and like 1 plus zero sum ho jata hai na, like both people cannot win. One will win, the other will lose, and the result is going to be a zero sum. That's the idea of a zero sum. So इस तरह की mentality में आपको लगता है कि जब तक मैं दूसरे बंदे को हराऊंगा नहीं, तब तक मैं जीत नहीं सकता. तो ये चीज़ चाइना इस mentality को ख़त्म कर रहा है कि नहीं, हम सब मिल के prosper कर सकते हैं. जीरो सम की ज़रूरत नहीं, ये mentality.
Zero sum की ज़रूरत नहीं. And plus, how much do we spend on our military defense budgets? I mean, India is spending like 78 billion, Pakistan is spending 9 billion. China is like, I guess, the second largest spender of military. Maybe Russia is also up in this scale. And America is actually spending like $2 trillion in defense budget, and that is like more than the next 6-7 countries combined. And the point is that these defense contractors and this big Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and all these, the military industrial complex, they're controlled by really, really wealthy people who make decisions behind closed doors and who are not in favor of any country. They don't even care about the United States of America, because they've been taking out billions and trillions of dollars every year from the United States itself and transferring all that tax money into their own pockets. And why can't it be a win-win situation? Why do you have to spend like $78 billion? And why do we have to like spend like $9 billion? Why can't we reduce this defense budget and then focus this money onto alleviating the poor? And that is where I think Modi ji comes as well, because Modi ji himself is this part of this big Indian conglomerate business empire. And I mean, if you think that Pakistan has like these evil people, like these 40 families that control the whole of Pakistan, India's problems are 100 times magnified if you compare them to Pakistan, because Pakistan's rich people might have like $1 billion or $2 billion, but these Adani and Ambani and this Reliance and all of these industries, these guys are controlling the whole of India, which is like such a big place, and they're like $100 billion rich, to $140 billion rich. They're like the richest people. I mean, the wedding that happened in which Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan were dancing behind, and
That was Ambani wedding.
Ambani's, what's the name of his son? I keep forgetting. Anant Ambani. And
I think that wedding lasted for a month or two. There were so many events.
yeah, that was a big wedding. But the point is that if you want to see the real evil, you can look at these guys, because they have got like, they've taken over most of the industries of India, and the wealth of India is accumulated in a few hands, which is very bad. And we need to recirculate all of this money and all of this global economy. And we need to get this money somehow to the poor people as well. And what do you think about the future, and what are your last few comments that you want to give? for our stream.
Yes. It's like, you know, what you were just saying about every country having to spend so many billions of dollars on their defense budget. I mean, China is right now developing very fast its navy and its air force and army, because China is seeing that maybe within this decade it will have to fight a very major war with the US, because US is going to land all its troops, and for any reason they might make a false flag and force China to fight with all the NATO forces in Taiwan. They will gather there, and so China has to make all this military. Now Russia knows that the US has always, like since the end of the Cold War, the US has been portraying Russia as its number one enemy. And the way NATO expanded itself all along, the periphery of the Russian state, that was also a big alarm for Russia, and Russia knew that that day is not far away when the NATO forces are going to be just on its borders. And that's why Russia was forced to start this war with Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So you are right. Why do we have to fight? Why? I mean, the human, species
Mm-hmm.
is that one species that is always in war. Humans are fighting against humans all the time. And war is I think, first nature of humanity, because there is no time in human civilization when they have not been going through big wars. So what to say?
That is a very valid point, and that's what I was also saying. And I mean, we need if I would end on a positive note, I would say कि भाई भाई दोस्ती जो है ना वो हमें कर लेनी चाहिए, और हमें अगर इकट्ठे हम लोग मिल के अपने मसले हल करने की कोशिश करें तो हम लोग बहुत बेहतर तरीके से सारी चीज़ों को मैनेज कर सकते हैं. And it's been like more than 2 hours and 15 minutes that we've been doing. I mean, मेरा बोल के ना जबड़ा दर्द हो गए. So and I thank you to all the people who are from Pakistan and from India and from anywhere else in the world that have joined our live stream, and it's been such an amazing experience. And without you guys and without your support, these live streams are not possible. And please do remember to like, share, and subscribe all of these live streams as much as possible, because this is a free way to support our channel and to make our channel grow. And we love all of your opinions and all of the nice comments and all of the fighting that has been going on in the comment section today. We always appreciate, and we'd like to read your opinion, although there's like people still going on in the comment section today. So
it's not possible to read all those comments, because it's going to take another hour
to go through every comment.
But I also, with Wali, I want to thank everybody for such a lovely comments, all of them.
And what's your message for the Indian people today?
I think this is the first time that Modi has done something sensible, and the Indian people should stand with Modi, and there should be. I always say that India has been on the wrong boat, and this might be the time for getting into the right boat, because India will be strong if the region will be strong. If the region will remain unstable and prone to wars, and the cloud of war is always up above all our countries, neither will the BRI projects be fruitful, neither India will be able to prosper. So just get into the right boat.
That is a very valid point. And plus, there was this muhavra as well, कि अंधों में काना राजा. I mean कि it can't be कि इंडिया जो है वो दुनिया की बेस्ट इकोनॉमी बन जाए और पाकिस्तान जो है वो ज़ीरो पर हो, चाइना ज़ीरो पर हो, बांग्लादेश ज़ीरो पर हो. मतलब कि अगर इंडिया ने ग्रो करना है तो उसके नेबर्स को भी साथ साथ उसको
Yeah.
देखना पड़ेगा. So, with that, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. And again, thank you for all of the people who have joined our live stream and who have been watching. I hope Ram and who was the other guy?
Mohit.
Mohit and Ram do join us again because sometimes, especially Shivaji, we've been missing because Shivaji used to come and used to say a lot of things about Pakistan and about us. But then Shivaji disappeared. So we recommend that all our Indian friends do come to these live streams. And with that, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum and namaste.